What if your eyes have been lying to you your whole life? What if reality isn't limited to what you can see, but filtered by invisible settings someone changed long ago, without your consent? Imagine your vision is like a camera stuck in black and white. You can recognize forms and shadows, but the beauty, the full depth of life's color, is missing. And yet, you were born with the capacity to see in 4K brilliance, every frequency, every layer of energy, until the switch was turned down and you forgot. But that original sight can be restored. It's not a miracle. It's memory. You were designed to see the world as it truly is, not as it's been edited for you. Today, we're going to uncover that original perception, the ancient vision that was once considered forbidden, not because it was dangerous, but because it was freeing. This is the teaching of Thoth, the architect of divine wisdom, the consciousness that gave birth to writing, science, and the sacred art of seeing truth. And the most astonishing part? Activating it doesn't require years of study or mystical rituals. It begins with something you already do every day. Thoth was said to be the mind of the gods, the cosmic scribe who recorded fate and held the blueprint of creation. When his teachings reached Greece, he became Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great, a master philosopher and divine messenger. He represented the union of spiritual power, knowledge, and balance. The emerald tablet attributed to him holds the secret of transformation, not of metals, but of the human soul. It speaks of turning the heavy lead of ignorance into the gold of awakened consciousness. Thoth's alchemy was mental, emotional, and spiritual. He understood that the true prison isn't made of bars, but of perception, and the key to freedom lies not in temples of stone, but in the temple inside your skull. At the geometric center of your brain sits a tiny pinecone-shaped gland, the pineal gland. Philosophers like Descartes called it the seat of the soul. Ancient mystics across cultures saw it as the third eye, the lens of divine awareness. In the East, yogis mapped it as the Ajna chakra, the command center that connects personal awareness to universal intelligence. The Egyptians encoded this wisdom in the Eye of Horus. When placed over a cross-section of the brain, the eye shape fits perfectly, with the pineal at its center. What many saw as a symbol of protection was in truth a hidden map to the inner realms of consciousness. Modern researchers like Dr. Rick Strassman have found evidence that the pineal gland can produce DMT, sometimes called the spirit molecule. This substance appears naturally during birth, death, and deep spiritual experiences, giving rise to visions that transcend time and space. The pineal gland is light sensitive and regulates our sleep cycles, but its potential goes much further. It may be the biological bridge between physical reality and higher dimensions of awareness. It's your built-in gateway to the unseen. Yet, for most people, this sacred organ lies dormant, calcified by years of neglect and exposure to toxins. Fluoride in drinking water, pesticides, heavy metals, processed food, and chronic stress all form a hard crust around it, cutting off its subtle functions. Society has, in effect, covered your inner lens with concrete. Reactivating your inner sight begins with cleansing body, mind, and soul. Nature provides the tools. Chlorella and spirulina draw heavy metals out of the body. Seaweed rich in iodine helps flush fluoride. Apple cider vinegar and lemon water, though acidic in taste, restore the body's alkaline balance, making calcification harder to maintain. Eat clean, drink pure water, choose living foods that carry life force energy. But the deeper detox isn't physical, it's mental. You must stop feeding on fear, gossip, and overstimulation. Disconnect from the constant noise. True silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the absence of interference. It's in silence that your inner senses reawaken. Because silence is the original frequency of creation. When the fog begins to lift, something subtle changes. Colors feel richer. Time feels slower. Dreams become more vivid. You sense energy around people and places. You start perceiving patterns instead of randomness. This is not imagination. It's the return of your natural sensitivity. Reality begins to reveal itself as vibration. Science now confirms what the ancients declared. Everything, from your body to your thoughts, is energy vibrating at specific frequencies. Your physical eyes only capture a tiny portion of that spectrum, but your third eye can perceive what lies beyond. Activating it doesn't require force. It requires permission. Intention is the password. When you genuinely wish to see, the inner eye begins to stir. Sound becomes your tuning fork. Gregorian chants, Sanskrit mantras, solfeggio tones, and even simple humming vibrate the skull and awaken the pineal center. They tune the human instrument back to harmony. Start noticing energy directly. Before you judge a place, feel it. Before you speak, sense your tone. When you listen to someone, notice not just the words, but the vibration beneath them. This is how you begin to read the invisible script of the universe, the one that Thoth called the language of light. But expanded sight requires stability. Without grounding, vision can turn into escapism. The earth is your anchor. Walk barefoot on the soil. Feel the pulse beneath your feet. The planet's electromagnetic rhythm harmonizes your nervous system and stabilizes your energy. Silence is your sanctuary. Sit in meditation, not to stop thoughts, but to observe them. Let the river of mind flow without resistance. With time, the still watcher awakens, the consciousness behind the chatter. Purity is your temple. Eat and drink with reverence. Avoid what dulls your light. Every cell in your body is an antenna. When it's clean, it can receive divine signals clearly. When the body is grounded, the mind is quiet, and the energy is pure, the temple is ready. You can now perform the sacred act of inner activation. Sit comfortably, spine straight, eyes closed. Breathe deeply. Let the body relax with each exhale. Bring your attention to the space between your eyebrows. Then let your focus drift slightly inward, into the center of your skull. Imagine a soft golden light glowing there, small at first, like a star. Feel it pulsing gently with your breath. You may hum softly, letting the vibration fill your head. This resonance massages the pineal, gently awakening its sensitivity. After a few moments, speak inwardly with intention. Let my inner sight awaken in truth, love, and clarity. Stay there in stillness. The light will begin to expand, not as a flash, but as a steady, knowing peace. Practice this daily. In time, you'll notice the shift, not dramatic at first, but constant. You'll perceive energy instead of chaos. You'll feel guided instead of lost. Dreams will teach you. Synchronicities will speak to you. The world will begin to appear as one vast conversation between your soul and creation itself. That is true awakening. Not seeing something new, but realizing you were never blind. Your pineal gland is the doorway through which divine consciousness experiences matter. When it reactivates, you stop watching life from the outside and start participating in it fully. You realize that the universe isn't happening to you. It's happening through you. You are not a spectator in creation. You are a living lens of it. So ask yourself now, What if the world you've known has only been half the picture? What if the colors of truth have been waiting behind the veil of your own perception? The key has always been inside you. It's time to reset your settings. You are entering a sacred moment where awareness begins to expand. This is not just a technique. It is a doorway into a deeper dimension of perception. You are preparing your inner space so that what follows can unfold naturally. Take a slow breath and let your attention soften. Feel yourself present in this moment, not as a thinker or a doer, but as a quiet witness preparing to awaken. Now, bring your awareness gently to the center of your forehead, just above the space between your eyebrows. This is the point often known as the third eye, the inner window of vision. Don't strain your eyes or force your focus. Simply rest your attention there lightly, as if your awareness were a feather resting on still water. If you stay here for a few breaths, you may begin to sense something subtle, a light pulse, a mild pressure, or a trace of warmth. This is your energy responding to attention. You are not imagining it. You are starting to feel the living current of your own consciousness. In that same space, imagine now a small sphere of light, tiny as a seed, glowing softly in a violet hue. Violet is the color of transformation and high spiritual frequency. Do not worry about seeing it perfectly. Even if you can't visualize clearly, trust that it's there. Feel its presence. This is not a light that shines outward, but one that turns inward to reveal the inner world of the soul. It represents wisdom, transmutation, and divine clarity. Let it glow quietly, as if it knows exactly what to do without your effort. Now bring in your breath as the bridge. Begin the rhythm of square breathing. Inhale gently to a count of 4. Hold your breath for 4. Exhale slowly for 4. And then remain in stillness for 4 before inhaling again. This rhythm balances the hemispheres of your brain and aligns your energy. It calms the nervous system and invites your life force, or prana, to move in harmony. Each phase of this breath has purpose. The inhale fuels the inner flame. The hold concentrates it. The exhale releases what no longer serves you. And the pause expands your awareness into the silence that contains everything. Keep repeating this cycle until your mind feels calm and your inner space feels clear. As your breathing settles, notice that the violet light begins to glow brighter with each breath. With your next exhale, imagine it slowly turning clockwise, spinning with grace. Each rotation dissolves a layer of illusion, an old belief, a fear, a limitation you have outgrown. Continue this process gently. Let it clear what it needs to clear. Eventually, you'll notice the shift. You're no longer picturing light. You are feeling light. You are no longer imagining energy. You are remembering how to sense it. This is the beginning of activation. But awakening is not the final destination. It is the start of the real journey. To ignite the flame within you is one thing. To live in its light every day is another. Once you practice this regularly and sincerely, the way you perceive the world begins to transform. You start to feel truth instead of just thinking about it. In conversations, you'll sense the energy behind words. You'll know when someone is being authentic and when they are hiding behind a mask. Your body becomes a sensitive compass that detects honesty and falsehood naturally. This is not for judgment, but for discernment. You are learning to read energy the way the heart reads emotion. Synchronicities will begin to multiply. You'll think of someone, and they will call. You'll ask a question, and the answer will appear in a phrase you overhear or a passage you read. You may begin to see repeating numbers: 1111, 222, 444, signs that you're in rhythm with the universe's language. These are not random coincidences. They are signals that your consciousness is now perceiving patterns woven into the structure of reality. Your dreams may also grow more vivid and meaningful, offering guidance from layers of awareness beyond the waking mind. With these gifts come tests. Every true awakening includes challenges that help refine perception. One of the first is the temptation of spiritual ego. When new vision opens, the mind might try to claim it, whispering that you are more advanced or more special than others. This is a trap. True vision leads to humility, not pride. The more you see, the more you understand how vast the mystery truly is. Awakening should soften you, not separate you. It is not proof that you are above others, but evidence that you are ready to serve from a deeper place. The second common trap is opening too quickly without grounding. When energy rises faster than the body or mind can integrate it, it may feel like too much, creating anxiety, sleeplessness, or sensitivity to noise, crowds, or emotions. You may even feel like you don't belong in this world. This happens when light expands without roots. Remember, spiritual growth needs grounding, just as a tree needs soil to rise. Walk barefoot on the earth. Eat nourishing food. Spend time in nature. Breathe slowly. Move your body. These simple acts anchor your light so it can shine steadily instead of burning out. The goal is not to escape the world, but to experience it with clearer awareness and deeper presence. When you learn to live with this expanded perception, discernment becomes your most important tool. Vision is not a decoration or a trick to impress others. It's a sacred instrument for understanding truth and aligning with your purpose. It is meant to heal, not to elevate your ego. Real mastery begins when you integrate what you perceive into the way you live. It's not about collecting mystical experiences, but about living them, bringing that same clarity into how you speak, work, rest, love, and forgive. Even 5 minutes of practice at dawn can change the course of your day. Take those moments to breathe consciously, visualize the violet light, and reconnect with your center. It's like tuning a musical instrument every morning, so the melody of your energy stays in harmony throughout the day. With regular practice, intuition becomes clearer, and you begin to live in a continuous flow of awareness. Keep a journal of your experiences, a simple notebook where you record dreams, repeating symbols, emotions that surface, and intuitive insights. Writing gives shape to what is subtle. It anchors the invisible into the visible. When you reread your entries, patterns will emerge. Guidance that was once hidden becomes clear. This is how whispers from your soul turn into a map you can follow. As your awareness deepens, integrity becomes vital. If you see truth and ignore it, the clarity you worked so hard to cultivate begins to blur. Energy moves cleanly only through honesty. When your intuition tells you a habit or relationship drains your vitality, you must honor that message. Awareness points the way, but courage is what makes the path real. Each time you act in alignment with what you know to be true, your vision strengthens and your energy field brightens. You will also notice that your sensitivity to environments and people increases. You'll begin to sense when a place feels nourishing and when it feels heavy, when a conversation uplifts you and when it depletes you. This is not an invitation to judge others. It's a reminder to manage your energy wisely. You are learning energetic responsibility, choosing what to engage with and what to release. Protecting your peace is not isolation. It is spiritual maturity. You are simply recognizing what helps you grow and what dims your light. As your insight expands, compassion must expand with it. Seeing clearly means loving more deeply. Every person you meet is navigating their own awakening at their own pace. Your vision allows you to respond with understanding, not superiority. It teaches that everyone is a reflection of the same source light, exploring itself in different forms. To live with awakened sight is to walk between heaven and earth with balance. It is to listen to the quiet voice inside and let it guide your every action. It is to know that the sacred is not far away. It breathes through every heartbeat, every conversation, every choice. Awakening is not about reaching perfection. It's about living truthfully, humbly, and fully alive. What you began with a simple act of focus, the resting of awareness between your brows, becomes a lifelong practice of presence. The violet flame continues to grow brighter each time you return to it. With every breath, you remember who you are, not as a separate being searching for light, but as light itself learning to see. The journey never truly ends. It only deepens. Activation is the spark, but mastery is the art of living with eyes open, seeing with the heart, walking with discernment, and moving through the world as a vessel of peace. To see beyond the surface is not to look for what's wrong, but to recognize the humanity we all share. When you look deeper, you begin to sense the pain hiding beneath someone's pride or the quiet fear behind their confidence. You start to understand that every harsh word or cold glance is often just protection around an old wound. Judgment naturally dissolves, and compassion quietly takes its place. You no longer look at people as problems to fix, but as souls to understand. And when others feel seen by you, truly seen, it heals something ancient within them. But deep vision must have roots. Without grounding, your spiritual awareness can become dizzying, leaving you feeling unanchored and detached from life. Each day, anchor yourself in your body. Walk barefoot on the earth and feel its strength holding you. Let the air touch your skin. Move with purpose. Dance, stretch, breathe, or simply walk under the sky. These are not small acts. They are sacred ways of returning home to yourself. A tree cannot rise high without deep roots, and your spirit cannot expand without grounding in the earth. Learn to balance two roles, the observer and the participant. Be aware of your thoughts and feelings, but don't become lost in them. Watch them come and go as waves rise and fall, knowing you are the ocean that holds them all. At the same time, stay present and alive in the world. Make choices, speak truth, create beauty, and engage fully. Mastery is not withdrawal from life, but moving through it with awareness. To see clearly while acting wholeheartedly. That is balance. That is peace. Even your food becomes part of this awareness. Notice how what you eat changes your state of mind. Fresh fruits and vegetables carry light. They lift you, calm you, and make you more present. Processed or heavy foods can dim your energy, clouding your thoughts and dulling your inner sight. Eating becomes an act of devotion. Every meal is a choice between clarity and confusion, between harmony and heaviness. Build your physical body like a sacred temple, using the purest energy you can find. Silence becomes another form of nourishment. Not only silence from sound, but silence from noise, mental, emotional, and digital. Step away from constant stimulation. Let there be moments each day where you hear nothing but your breath and the soft pulse of life around you. In that stillness, the voice of your higher self becomes clear. You learn to tell the difference between the noise of fear and the whisper of intuition. Silence is the sacred soil where true wisdom grows. Over time, This way of living changes you. You stop trying to see. Clarity becomes natural. You stop searching for signs and start becoming one. Your presence itself begins to carry light. You walk into a room, and others feel calm without knowing why. That is the quiet power of one who has come home to themselves. The opening of your inner vision was never about gaining a special power. It was about uncovering what was already there. You weren't meant to travel to a mystical realm. You were meant to remember your own essence. Every veil of fear, doubt, and conditioning you shed was simply revealing the light that has always lived inside you. When your eyes open, they can never close again. You can never return to unawareness. That is both the challenge and the gift of awakening. Awakening isn't a single, explosive event. It unfolds gently through the choices you make each day. It happens when you choose to be present instead of lost in distraction, when you choose patience instead of irritation, when you choose to trust your intuition over your fears. Awakening is lived in small moments. Choosing compassion when you could have chosen anger. Choosing peace when you could have chosen drama. Choosing love when you could have chosen pride. The inner eye is not a door to escape the world. It is a portal to experience it more deeply. You begin to see patterns where others see chaos. You recognize that pain, too, carries purpose. The universe no longer feels like a test. It becomes a teacher. You start to sense that everything is connected and that life is always guiding you toward growth. The world stops being random. It becomes a sacred mirror reflecting your inner state. As you polish that inner mirror through honesty, forgiveness, stillness, and love, the outer world starts to shine more brightly too. What once looked hostile becomes harmonious. What once felt empty begins to glow with meaning. You realize that light and shadow, joy and sorrow, are not enemies. They are teachers, partners, and mirrors, each helping you see yourself more clearly. Do not fear the unseen realms. There is nothing there that can harm you. Whatever you encounter, whether radiant or dark, is part of you asking to be acknowledged, healed, and loved. When you embrace both your light and your shadow, they merge into wholeness. You realize there was never separation between you and the universe. Between you and the divine, there is only one consciousness, one great eye awakening to itself through your experience. The third eye never took you away from the world. It brought you home to the world. It revealed that home was never somewhere else. It was within you all along. You realize that the divine doesn't live in distant heavens. It breathes through your heartbeat, speaks through your silence, and sees through your eyes. And now, the real journey begins. You become a light not by preaching, but by simply being. You no longer need to convince anyone of truth. You live it. Your calm energy becomes your message. Your integrity becomes your teaching. Your compassion becomes your proof. You walk through the world quietly transforming it, not through words, but through presence. To live awakened is to live with clear sight and soft hands. It's to act with integrity when no one is watching. To love with courage even when love feels vulnerable. To bring heaven down into the smallest human moments. Into how you speak, how you breathe, how you forgive, how you begin again. When you live this way, every step becomes prayer. Every breath becomes gratitude. Every interaction becomes a bridge between the visible and the invisible. The sacred stops being distant. It becomes everyday life. You are home now. You have returned to the center of your being. The light you were searching for was never lost. It was only waiting for your attention. If this message resonates with your spirit, write the words, "My eyes are opening." Each time someone speaks that truth aloud, a wave of awakening ripples through the collective. And if your heart feels called to help this mission grow, to help others remember who they are, you can support in whatever way you feel guided. A link is in the first pinned comment. But even your presence here is already a blessing. Watching, sharing, or simply holding this energy within your heart helps more than you realize. Before you go, your journey doesn't end here. It continues into the next step, the deepening after the awakening. There is another message waiting for you now. Click the next video on your screen, and let's walk forward together, deeper into the light that has always been yours.